I would like to introduce the Curtis family C Notes. First of all, how's everybody doing?
Great. Great.
Good, good. For those who may not know, let's introduce each one of you.
Hi, my name is Zahara.
Hello, my name is Isis.
Hi, I'm Mama C.
I'm Papa C.
I'm Phoenix. I'm Kiki.
Hi, I'm Niall.
Well, welcome everybody. We're so excited to have you all. First, please tell me, how did you come up with this name? Ooh, good one.
Oh, okay, so I'll start this. Our last name is Curtis, and C notes is actually, it means several things. They're money, a musical note, but also it's is it called anagram of stone? Like the Curtis family, the Sly and the Family Stone. So it's a fun play on letters, yeah.
Wonderful. So tell me, how important was it for you to be a part of America's Got Talent? Tell me about that experience.
Whoa. Well, first of all, the way that they contacted us was through our live stream that we had started through the Community Music Center. Shout out to the Community Music Center. And during the pandemic, we started out just playing music for people who were shut in, despondent, depressed, just try to bring some joy into their lives. And then, we started out singing, and somehow we were contacted by the producers of America's Got Talent who had seen our live streams. We didn't believe them at first, but they kept contacting us. I think the first time we hung up in their faces. And then from there, they contacted us, and we ended up on the show. That's how we ended up on the show. Yeah.
Wonderful. Now I'm going to come over to the birthday girl. I understand it's your birthday.
Yes,
Happy
ma'am.
birthday to you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Now tell me, why are you here in Louisville?
We are here because we will be playing the grand opening of the Grand Lyric Theater.
Wonderful, wonderful. And how much have you done since you've been here? I know you've been here for a few days. Tell us, you've done a little bit of everything, haven't you? You've been to Senator Neal's home, and you're doing media interviews. How have you ever been in Louisville before?
Oh, we absolutely love, let me say it correctly, Louisville.
That's right. You said it right.
Yes.
Louisville. Yeah.
And we love it. It's really beautiful. Yeah, we were at the Roots 101 Museum earlier today. Beautiful. So beautiful. And then we visited the waterfront park. That was amazing. Amazing. Good. Well, good job, City of Louisville and State of Kentucky. That was beautiful.
And we would definitely take that. Another question I wanted to know, why is it so important to give back to this community? And then why is it so important to include music in it?
Well, specifically, at least to me, for young black youth in this community, because where we're from in San Francisco, opportunities for the arts is like being erased for young black children, but also really children in general. So coming here and doing that, I feel like is really special to give these kids a chance, like things other than sports, also like the arts, which is very important.
Well, thank you very much. And I know I'm going to ask a huge favor from you guys as we wrap up this interview, if you don't mind. I would like for you to perform for me, if you don't mind. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the Curtis Family C Notes. You can see them at the Grand Lyric Theater, opening multiple shows in the next couple of days. For more information, go to WHAS11.com. Take it away.
When it seems like the weight of the world
Now, how many different instruments do you play amongst you?
He plays everything.
And what is everything for our viewers?
Well, I just grew up musical from, I can't remember when I didn't have an instrument in my hand. So I went back to school and actually got my degrees in music. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't like to talk about myself like
I
that.
understand. I do understand, but you know, I wanted to call you Papa, but really it's more Doctor
Yes,
C.
I do have a PhD in education.
Yes, sir.
And my master's is in orchestration and arranging. And my bachelor's is in piano and voice and theater.
Wow. And I know that you have performed with a lot of people and you were actually signed. Have you actually worked with someone with Earth, Wind, and Fire, or you actually produced for them?
Yeah, Maurice. Maurice was my mentor, Maurice White, the late, great Maurice White, the visionary of Earth, Wind, and Fire. And he's produced so many acts, and, you know, he saw something in me and produced one of my groups, yeah.
So I'm going to ask someone, and if you don't mind, you tell me, how many different types of artists have you performed with, and who has been your favorite? Ooh, good one, huh?
Wow, that one's really hard because we've performed with Layla Hathaway, El DeBarge, Lenny Williams, who's on our latest album, Awaken 3. Yeah, Nigel Hall from Lettuce and the Nigel Hall Band. There's just so many. I can't say of course, our cousin John Batiste. I can't really say our favorite because we've always had David Batiste, because we've always had a unique experience with each one.
Well, thank you very much. Wanted to know, Mama C, you also have an extensive music background. Tell me about that.
Oh, well, I've been teaching a long time, not as extensive as my husband, but I have performed with quite a few people. But I will say my favorite people I've performed with are my family. And really my performance experience came from starting out in dance and figure skating. And that was my first relationship with performing in music. So for me to, as an adult, find music as a really important part of my life, it brought me, I always say that music brought me my beautiful husband and family, so, yeah.
Wow. Now, I did have a question about ice skating. Tell me about that. What you know, I want to know. How did you get into ice skating and you became a coach, right?
Yes, that's correct. What's funny about that is we had a great mall in my hometown in San Mateo, California, and it was open, so it didn't have those big plexiglass walls, so literally, I was climbing over the wall onto the ice, and my parents were like, we got to stop her from doing this, let's just get her onto the ice. And when that happened, they saw that I took to it like a fish to water, and I had an amazing time. I competed nationally, and it really gave me a good experience in, you know, tough times. It's not an easy sport, and it taught me discipline. And when you do things you don't want to do, but you do it for the love of a sport, it will teach you a lot of things about yourself. So I really did love it, but there were parts of it that weren't so great, which is why I chose not to expose them to it. But I have put them on the ice. They weren't happy about the cold, so they were. I'm kind of happy they they didn't like it.
Right. Now, talking about music, I understand that all of you have a passion for science, but how did you get into music? Can you tell me?
How did we all get into it? Well, it's funny because our papa had always been running orchestras ever since, well, before we were even born. And they'd always come to our house to rehearse, or our uncles' houses. And we just kind of, when they were gone from the house, we kind of just sit on the instruments themselves and just start playing with it. That's basically how it started.
Wow. So how did you all know they had the gift?
Oh my God. Running orchestras can be quite challenging because you have to deal with adults who sometimes behave like children and, you know, not coming in rehearsed and all of this stuff. And so I was in the back room on an important phone call, and I told my wife, I said, could you tell them to turn the music down in there? And so she went in there to tell them to turn the music down, and she comes running back to me, and she's pulling on me saying, you got to come see this. And I told her, I'm on the phone with an important phone call. So I said, hold on. I'm not going to say who it was, but it was an important phone call. So I ran in the room, and I was just totally shocked. They were prolifically, flawlessly playing Jefferson Airplane's White Rabbit with my daughter on the drums, Isis, singing it and playing, which is very difficult to do. And so I was just enthralled, and just, I didn't know how to react, but sort of a light went on at that moment, and I think at that point I realized I'm done with grown folks. I'm done, because they got to do what I tell them to do. But no, I've never had to force them to do anything. They love what they do. And I think in part, a lot of that has to do with us homeschooling them, because I have a PhD in education as well. So, you know, my wife has her bachelor's in business, so we just kind of put our heads together and said, you know, I think the school system's not working for us, because they all have their own interests. And we had read a book about
Morning by Morning.
Morning by Morning,
Yeah.
an African-American couple in Boston, and they had homeschooled their children to Ivy Leagues. And that, along with the Escovedos, Papa and Mama Escovedo, who just kind of pulled us together and said, you know, you need to be doing music with your children. He said, because that's how I was able to keep up with them. And they weren't running the streets. That appealed to us, and so from there, that's how this merged.
Yeah. Mama C, I want to ask a serious question. With so much going on in the entertainment industry, and you could have had managers and different things, but you decided, you and Papa C, to control the narrative for your family. Tell me about that.
Oh, well, what's interesting is that we all work together as a unit. Dr. Fields has witnessed Zahara getting her calendar out and saying, Papa, did you pay this bill yet? Mama, did you send off these emails to your students in your Tuesday night class? So Phoenix is our finance person, so she enjoys studying finance and stocks, and everyone has their own role that maintains. So it really makes it, lightens my load, and it allows us to stay independent. It allows us to really work as a unit. So we have weekly family meetings. Sometimes we'll have them more as needed, but they feel empowered in terms of decision making, because the decisions we ultimately make affect them the most. So just for us to always check in with each other, and just, you know, we'll ask them, like, do you still want to remain independent? Because it is a lot more work. Because it would be nice to have a label that tells us where to go and how to dress and where we're going to perform. But as independent artists, we have to really control our music, release music when we want, release music videos the way we want to. We see how much more it means to us, and to see them grow. And, you know, we don't always agree. We'll butt heads, but they know to do it respectfully. And for me as a parent, it makes me proud, and working as a family has really taught me things that I'm able to fix cycles that were instilled in me, and my husband. So, like, my husband and I, we make it a point that we apologize when we're wrong.
That's right.
I came from a generation where it was like, if your parents messed up, they didn't
Apology.
say sorry. So there's, you know, I mess up, and I know I'm not a perfect person, and I swear too much. And but there are things that I ask them, you know, I'm working on this about myself. Go ahead and call me out on it, because I need help too. I'm growing as well. And they are so great about just being fair and being wonderful people. Yeah.
Wonderful. I want to come over here and ask you a question. Tell me about your new album.
So our new album, it has Walter Beasley, you know, Sorry, I wasn't afraid to answer anything. I'm not. But yeah, this one personally is my favorite album. A lot of people, you know, kind of passed away before, the finishing of it, and we play every song to honor them, in my opinion.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, if you don't mind, what I want to do is just some quick questions, fun questions. You point at yourself or a sibling. Is that okay? Okay. So first of all, who takes the longest to get dressed? Who's the first to arrive? Who's your night owl? Who's your early bird? Who's the oldest? Who's the youngest? Who's the most dramatic sibling, the drama queen or drama king? Who's likely to blame something that's broken on another sibling? Who was notoriously the hardest person to wake up for school? Who is the biggest tattletale of the group? Who borrows clothes without asking? Who's the most organized? Who has the worst sense of direction? When you travel, who's the first person to fall asleep? Who's the jokester in the family? And my last one, who's the protector of the siblings? Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.